Battletoads, a phrase that will strike fear in the hearts of video gamers everywhere. Oh, you thought Mega Man 9 and Dark Souls, Cuphead were hard? Let me introduce you to the Turbo Tunnel, Surf's Up, and Tower Climb. Why did Rare make something so hard, you ask? Because they hate everything and wanted to remove joy from the world? Maybe. Because they didn't realize the nightmare they were unleashing on us all? Also maybe. But for retro gaming, there's nothing as infamous as Battletoads. Brutal level design, narrow input timing, all with callous results for failure. However, it's also super fun. Great animations, diverse levels, fun actions, even some kick-ass hold music. Battletoads is high punishment, but also high reward. So buckle up, practice some breathing exercises, and get ready to try and tackle some Battletoads.
Retro Recall.
Welcome back to Retro Recall, the show with more nostalgia than the number of warts on a large anthropomorphic toad trio. Try saying that 10 times fast. We've been playing Battletoads for the first time in like 24 years. And man, John, I've got some thoughts, or I guess maybe I should say feelings.
What?
On this one?
This game's super enjoyable. I don't know what your complaints about. It's the easy, calm afternoon of riding a jet ski and other things. You know, and just no complaints. No complaints.
Yeah, more like bummer toads for me. But okay, what are we doing on this episode?
On this episode, we're taking you back in time with some fun facts about the game and the world it was released into in 1991.
We'll break down the good, the bad, and the hilarious.
And we'll answer the question, is Battletoads fun in 2026?
Okay, so John, why is Battletoads so infamous for people who somehow don't even know?
Oh, so this game lives in infamy. Battletoads is at its core just a side-scrolling beat-em-up game. However, it's not considered just one of the most challenging games ever made. It's considered the most challenging video game ever made. And it is brutal. We'll talk more about it later, but there is one of my favorite stories is the developers themselves being heard screaming obscenities at the inability to beat a level they created. I can speak for me and my friend group. We all think about this game and talk about this game as the, I hear your point that Dark Souls or whatever is hard. Have you played Battletoads? Let's see if it lives up to that hype.
Okay, before you get too excited, let's talk about some game facts.
All right. Sure. Battletoads is released for the Nintendo gaming system on June 1st of 1991. Interestingly enough, that's the same year that Super Nintendo comes out. So, little side note. It's made by Rare Studios. They're a British gaming company. And the goal of the game was to capitalize on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles craze. The game itself was meant to resemble Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but with more of an edge to it, which I do think comes through if you look at the way the characters talk and some of the way that they act. They also made an animated show.
Side note here, which is kind of funny because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles got famous from the cartoon, which was very kid-friendly, but the comic book that inspired the cartoon was actually pretty edgy and dark.
Yeah.
And so it's like this circle comes like full circle here with Battletoads.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And they even made toys for the game. They tried real hard, figuring, well, if we make something that's kind of close to Ninja Turtles, will that be good enough? And the game itself is interesting. It was very well received. This is an era of Nintendo Powers. They won 7 of the Nintendo Power Awards that year. They had a ton of great reviews.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah.
That is insane.
I actually have a theory on this, and it's kind of a crappy thing, but it's true. I read a bunch of these reviews because I saw that and I went, there's no way. So I went back and I actually was able to pull the articles and read them. I don't think the people who gave them the positive reviews played the game. I think they watched game footage because all the reviews, not all of them, but the vast majority of the reviews are its graphics, its play style, its humor. There's very few comments about the difficulty. I literally rage quit this game at least 4 times trying to play through it. There's no way you could get there. I mean, one person, I'm going to call him out, named Rob Bright, is on for Nintendo Magazine, wrote, "Progress isn't slow, but then again, it isn't a breeze." Rob did not play this game. Rob did not play this game.
We are not playing the same game.
No.
He's playing like Mario, and we're playing Battletoads.
No one,
not the same.
No one who played Turbo Tunnel or Surf City could say, well, it isn't a breeze. Those games, I actually still have the calluses on my thumbs from jamming into the controller as hard as I could to try and time those jumps. This game is hard. And it's hard, though, in a unique way. It's not hard like when we think about some of the more modern games that are hard, where you have an almost impossible boss with really small hit ratios. This game was hard because you constantly had to dodge, dip, dive, duck, and dodge your way through stuff. And there wasn't a lot of lives. There wasn't a lot of options. You just had to memorize your jumps. And you had a quarter second. I will say I'm gonna make two comments here that are gonna seem to live opposite each other. At one point in the game, because I just wanted to get to the end, I popped an emulator on, and I ran unlimited lives, unlimited energy, invincibility, and I still couldn't beat some of the levels and had to level skip. I enjoyed it.
Go ahead.
And I enjoyed the game. I had a good time playing it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's you're a masochist, Sean. What is wrong with you? Now, see, we'll get into it in the good, the bad, and stuff. But yeah, this game is way more heavy on difficult platforming and way light on actually brawling and beating things up.
Yeah,
and to me, that's a bummer because I just want the punching and the kicking is the best part, and yet they just lean into the other stuff. But here, I've got some surprise facts for you.
Let's go.
Sometimes I do. I bring these surprise facts. Did you know that there is an even more violent arcade version of the game that features blood? You've got like blood gushing out of people when they get beat up. Radiated bones get left on the ground. And there's even animations where you can punch your enemies in their little froggy bits below the belt.
So fun story. I wasn't aware that it went to production, but when reading the reviews, there was something talking about because the game was made for Nintendo, the people at the studio intentionally toned down a lot of the stuff because they were worried Nintendo would reject their game if they didn't.
So here's another fun little bit of detail. And this comes from uprocks.com, which nobody has heard about in the last 15 years, by the way. But
well, it's because the website, they decided to use two X's. And so everyone, when you see that, assume, I don't go to that website. Like,
don't go there.
Yeah, no one's going there at work. No one's going there on work hours. Exactly.
So, yes, but actually Nintendo was involved with the making of Battletoads, sort of. They didn't make it themselves. According to Uprocks, with extra X's because that's cool, I guess, in 2007. While working on their computer games, Rare became aware of a new console released by Nintendo in Japan, and they quickly set out to work breaking the NES lockout security so they could figure out how the system worked. So the people who developed Battletoads, Rare, hacked the system. Despite this totally being illegal, Rare didn't hide their activities. In fact, Rare founders Tim and Chris Stamper proudly showed what they'd done to Nintendo themselves, and Nintendo was surprisingly impressed by their initiative. While most third-party NES developers were limited to the number of games they could make and received little to no support from Nintendo, Rare was given free reign to make as many games as they wanted, which is why there are so many Rare titles on the NES.
Oh.
Yeah, so they had unlimited ability to make as much as they want. There were almost 50 over like a 40-year period, and they were provided with essentially unlimited funding from Nintendo themselves. So they funded the developer even though they weren't directly involved with the making of the games.
Wow.
So, yeah, so games like this, which were a little bit edgier, were okay by Nintendo, even though they wouldn't make a game like this. It's kind of like Touchstone Pictures being owned by Disney or whatever, however that works.
Yeah, some of those ones are huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Although, I mean, who knows? Between time of recording and time of release, God knows what Disney will own at that point.
Yeah, the whole world. At some point. Okay, so let's go back in time. You mentioned 1991. What was the world like back in 1991 when this was released?
Yeah, interestingly, this game releases 3 weeks before Sonic the Hedgehog. So it's this weird time. Game Boy is out. Ooh. Nintendo is there. Super Nintendo is coming. We've got a lot going on. So some of the stuff does overlap a little bit. We do, but it's a little bit early, 3 weeks earlier. So the number one song in America was still Mariah Carey's I Don't Want to Cry. I don't know. Again, I got nothing.
Even know.
Okay, we finally found.
Sometimes I know
Yeah.
Sometimes you mention a crappy pop song and I'm like, oh yeah, I can remember that one. I don't remember this at all.
Yeah. We've also got in the theater, because we're coming in, this is a June 1st release, so we haven't hit our June releases. We're in our like May releases. So Backdraft is the #1 movie. That wasn't very good. Thelma and Louise, not bad.
Fire effects. Good fire effects, though.
That's all it was. Yeah. Thelma and Louise, pretty good. What About Bob, which I do like quite a bit.
Yeah.
That movie was quite funny. That's about it, though. Sometimes when we do these ones, I get a bunch of really great heaters, and this week it's kind of like, oh, yeah, those films. But
how about this other heater from uprocks.com? Got another fun fact from them.
Nice.
So this game, did you know that this is one of the few games, you said it's the most difficult game in the whole world, but actually playing with a partner makes it even harder?
Oh, no.
Because of a few reasons. Like, you and I played singular on our own systems, right? Because we didn't hang out in a living room on the floor with controllers.
Right.
But that's what we would have done back then, right? And if you had done that with your, like, siblings or friends, it actually made the game harder. So according to uprocks.com, your attacks can hurt your friend in two-player mode, which once I read this, I was like, oh my gosh, that's right. I remember that. And trying to get through the vehicle-based challenges with two people is almost impossible. I also remember that from being a kid. And in one case, it is literally impossible. Stage 11, Klinger Winger.
Yep.
There's a glitch that causes the second player's controller to be inactive. There's nothing you can do about it. And if you're player two, you just have to sit there and you die. And it doesn't matter if your sidekick is the most coordinated co-op duo in history. You're just done. There's no way to make it work. It's a glitch that is hard-coded into the game.
Sounds about
That's
right.
insane.
Yeah, that tracks.
And this game got like Game of the Year awards, and yet you couldn't actually finish it as a player.
I'm going back to what I said earlier. These people are making reviews saying, no, the game, it's a little bit challenging, but you'll get through it. You didn't play the game. They did not play this game.
No.
Yeah.
Right. Also, I've got another fun one also from that website. Did you know that according to the comic in Nintendo Power, which you might have because you've got a bunch of these.
Yeah, they're behind me. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's the comic, and it's about Battletoads, and in the comic it says Rash, Zitz, and Pimple are professional gamers. Morgan Ziegler, Dave Shar, and George Pye. His last name is Pye, like you eat a pie, P-I-E.
And they're English. Yeah, that'll happen.
I guess
that'll happen.
I don't know, but. In this version of the lore, the world of Battletoads is actually an advanced virtual reality game that 3 players play for the entertainment of fans around the world. Unfortunately, the programmer of the game, Silas Volkmeyer, is jealous of our hero's fame, and he rigs it so that Morgan, Dave, and George are permanently trapped in the Battletoads universe as Rash, Zitz, and Pimple. But this is actually in contrast to the TV show that we mentioned, which got a pilot episode, never really got picked up.
For a very good reason.
But you can find it on YouTube. It's very terrible. It's bad. But in that story, these 3 guys get this goo tossed on them by like the bird scientist, and the scientist needs them to be Battletoads to fight the bad villains.
Ninja Turtles.
Teleport.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles. But then the bad guys teleport to Earth and they squeeze out of a slushy machine. What?
Yeah.
Like, also, there's surf rock music throughout the episodes, not just in the title, but throughout the episodes. You've got like Beach Boys-esque kind of surf rock, and yet it was like the early 90s. What? I don't know who made these decisions.
I'm gonna spoil the lead a bit here. I really enjoyed this game. And I think what you just described there is some of the reasons why I enjoy this game. It's eclectic. It is eclectic.
Yeah, that part is good. Yeah.
But actually,
I'll go with you there.
That's a good transition. Let's get into this. Let's get into the hilarious, the good, and the bad. So let's start off with Tom, the hilarious. Why don't you tell us what you found silly and hilarious about this game?
Yeah, I don't know if you enjoyed what's it called when you enjoy your torturing? What's that called again?
I don't know.
Stockholm syndrome, I think.
No, Stockholm's when you align with a terrorist. I think it's just masochism, but it's just, I don't know. There's something about this. I just thought it was fun. I was like,
right.
And I'll get into it in a minute. There's some parts of this game I was just like, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna see clips of me playing it. In that first level, I was having a great time, and then After that, not so much.
Yeah.
But here, we'll get into it. The game is hilarious. I mean, the setting's fun. The characters are fun. The artwork is fun. It's got a lot, and it's actually very creative. That's more the good side. But some of the things that stuck out to me as hilarious are that one part where the space invaders show up and they actually pull the health off your health bar.
And you have to kill them to get to have them not take your health bar. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I was like, oh, that's genius. That's great.
Yeah.
Breaking the fourth wall. That's great. The evil queen lady is basically Space Elvira.
Yep.
So can't go wrong with that. And just in general, the general attitude of it is very early 90s, like teenager, like,
oh, yeah.
I don't know, being rude and crude and awesome and bright colors and neon and all of that, right? Like you got a lot of that stuff going on. But I genuinely had such a hard time enjoying this that my hilarious list just isn't very long. But I know you've got stuff that I didn't.
I go deep on this. So my first favorite part of the hilarious is the difficulty because it is so hysterically challenging. Oh man. You get into the game, you play your first level, and the first level is easy. You're just scrolling to the right, you punch at some guys, you kick a few of them, you throw a guy off a cliff, you even pick up one guy's leg and beat a bunch of other people with it.
The animations are great.
Yeah,
the animations are fun.
The first boss, I've never seen that in any game I can think of, where all of a sudden you play it, so those who haven't played the game, the very first boss, you actually fight it from the perspective of the boss, throwing rocks at it. Again, I haven't played this.
It's like a mech. It's like a mech shooting at you, and every so often a ball drops and you pick it up and throw it back and so crack the screen.
I haven't played this game in 30 years? No, more than that. Over 30 years, right? I don't. And so, again, it's a game that I'll be candid. I'm playing the first level, and I'm like, is it that hard? Like, whatever. And then I get to level 2. And in level 2, the challenge it explodes at you. And the thing about what makes this game so hard is it's not just that the actions in a level are hard. The levels are really long. Really, really long. So as as a modern gamer, you kind of have a sense of when you're getting near the end of a level because it gets a little bit harder and you're like, okay, I've hit that save point. And so from here, it'll go there.
You get a health buff.
Yeah, a little health buff. You kind of know it's coming.
Yeah.
Not on Battletoads. Yeah. On Battletoads, nope. There's still more.
Nope.
More. And at a certain point, I started laughing. When I get to the tube challenge, which is the most famous level, I think, in the entire game, I was screaming at a certain point playing the game of, no, there can't be more. This level has to end.
Yes.
It is brutality.
Yeah.
Now, what I also like is that the animations in the game. So as fun as all this, there's also some really great just bits to it. So when you see a big boss, your jaw drops all the way to the floor and your eyes pop out of the head type animation.
Very Looney Tunes.
Yeah, the mask, that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
So that's it. And there's a bunch of little animations, like when you're going down, you turn yourself into a bowling ball and knock it over. Even the way that your toad hangs off the back of a jet ski or whatever it's riding. All these little bits. And it does, I'll get to it this morning, remind me of Earthworm Jim. I do see a lot of the parallels there.
Some kind of cartoony quality and colorful and animated. Yeah,
exactly. I also love the dialogue. The Vulture dude is funny. Vulture talks shit when you die. He talks shit to the Dark Queen. She talks back to you. The whole game, to your point, has that early 90s tood going on for it.
Yeah, a little bit of sass.
And it is. I love the comment you made earlier talking about this game was meant to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ripoff by being what Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was in the comic book, and then hoping that would push it over the top. It did not in any way, shape, or form. But one of my other favorite ones, and it's a silly one, the music. It slaps. The whole music it's got a deep beat to it, and it's like everything else, nothing else had that. That's something. It's the first Nintendo game I can think of that's got. Sorry, you're the music person, so I'll default to you here. It's a lower sound. Instead of being like a high end, is it treble? Is that the high end?
Real chime, like trebly. Really,
it's got more of a bass.
It's like a mid and low mix.
Yeah. I just like that because again, it feels attitude. It feels like going on to quote, an amazing movie and kicking ass and chewing bubblegum and all out of bubblegum mission. That shouldn't be comboed with like the Mega Man theme. It's just, I want something a bit more like. I get
what you're saying.
Yeah. Booch, booch, booch.
A little.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I get you. I get what you're saying about the balance and the mix of the songs. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I can see your perspective on that. To me, the music was kind of forgettable though. Like, I can't picture. This is one of those, and maybe this is having been a musician for years and those kinds of things. I hear a tune a few times and I can play it in my head. You pick a popular song that I know well, and I can just hear it in my head. I cannot pull any music from this in my head, even though I spent a good amount of time playing the game again. I'd have to sit and watch and go, oh, okay, that's what that song was.
So I beat this game about 6 or 7 days ago. This morning, when I was making coffee, the song from the Tube Challenge still was stuck in my head.
Okay.
But it's mostly because, I think it's because I spent...
It's subjective, you know?
It might have been I spent 2 hours trying to beat that stupid level.
That might be a part of it too. Yeah.
But speaking of it, that's hilarious. Let's go into your praises. Tom's endless praises for the game that is Battletoads.
The worst. I'm the one who was like, hey, we should play this week.
Yeah.
But
I'm so into it still.
It's not all bad.
Yeah.
It's not all bad. And like the hilarious stuff is good, but specifically just the good stuff from like a game perspective, the controls work really well. The controls are actually really solid. When you mess up the timing on a jump, when you miss punching an enemy, whatever, that's on you.
Yeah.
The game didn't mess that part up.
No,
that is fine.
And it has good touch control. I noticed that, when you do if you do your jumps, it does matter how hard you press down. And some of those vehicle levels, you got to get that down.
Yes. Also, we talked about the whimsy of it, the fun characters, the colorful design. I think all of this stuff, the animations, all of those are firmly in the good category. At no point was there a character who popped up and I was like, what the crap is this? Somebody, they just phoned this part in.
Right.
Even the levels, like the way the levels are laid out, are done well. They're just really difficult. It's, from a gameplay standpoint, miles above the first Ninja Turtles game on the NES.
Yes.
Even though this game is hard, I would much rather go back and play this than go back and play TMNT. On top of that, I think they were shooting for a variety of level design and trying to keep things interesting throughout the entire game. And they succeeded in continuing to mix it up. They definitely avoided you go back and play Double Dragon again, compare this to Double Dragon 2, and those levels are varied, but there's a lot of just fighting the same dudes over and over again.
Literally.
And they avoided that.
Yeah. I mean, literally
the same guys.
Yeah.
Right. Twins of the same people. And they avoided that. For the most part, every level is, oh, okay, we're doing this now. Oh, now we're doing this. But my main issue with that, I guess you could say, is that I wanted more of the punching and kicking throughout the levels and less of the platforming. That was to me was the best part.
That's fair.
So what about you?
All right. Well, for me, it's funny because we're going back to this. I enjoyed Earthworm Jim more than you did. This game really reminds me of Earthworm Jim. Obviously, it's the predecessor is what I'm seeing. And I see that because you just mentioned something really interesting, how each level is totally different. Yeah. Earthworm Jim. The colors that we're seeing, the vibrancy. We see that again in Earthworm Jim. I like how hard they tried at making this game feel like something that was different, even though they're working with not a lot of memory. So everything, the level design, yes, the levels were nightmarish, but they weren't stale. And massive disparities. Your color patterns, your control layouts, even the races. Yes, it was D button A and B, but you still had to do stuff. You're not fighting very much, but you're climbing, you're jumping, you're swinging. It's just great. I thought that was well done. I also liked the story of the game. It's the only one too. It's not a great story, but
well, I mean, you're saving a princess again, right?
Yeah,
it's pretty.
Yeah, but it's princess and your buddy. But for example, what I liked is that there's actually a map. And at the start of the game, you get there and you say, okay, we're going to go to the Dark Queen's lair. How are we going to get there? And you can see. Like at the
end of Mega Man 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you get the little path.
The difference was in Mega Man 2, you're just kind of doing a path, and then each level is just a level. Whereas this one, all right, on this level, you're going straight. So you are going straight. This level, you're going down.
Right.
This one's up. This one's up. angled, all of this stuff. So you see it coming. And so I did like that they did that. It's a nothing thing, but I appreciated they put that effort into it. And again, like, I just think that the animations, it's hilarious, but it's also in the good. It really gave the game a feel of you're doing something. This game, now it is at the tail end of Nintendo, so the graphics are noticeably better than some of the earlier NES games. I assume that's because, like with all programming, the more you do, the more you can package into a less space.
Yep.
Yeah. And you mentioned Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'll be honest, if this game was 30% less difficult, it would have taken over Ninja Turtles, at least as a video game, not as a franchise, good God, no. But as a video game, because at this stage, we've got the second Ninja Turtles has come out, which is the arcade one, which is actually Ninja Turtles fighting the Foot Clan.
Yes.
Which is a good game. But I think this game, if it was a little bit less difficult, actually would have been a massive hit. Also looking at the way, because hilariously, 3 weeks later, Sonic the Hedgehog comes out. Sonic the Hedgehog is borderline easy. So just one of those.
Oh, compared to this? Well, absolutely. Yeah.
Compared to most games, if I'm being honest. I mean, Sonic took me two and a half hours to beat. But let's get to the real thing. The complaints. This game has some bad, and go for it, Tom.
Okay, it is absolutely too hard. I think it's a combination of things. First of all, there are way too many places where the timing has to be almost absolutely perfect to even just keep moving forward. I mean, talk about the first tube stage where you're riding on the hover bikes or whatever those are called. And that just keeps going. When I got to that stage the first time, I nailed it. I was doing great. I got like 90% of the way through. And I was like, I got this. It was coming back to me. Oh, these barriers are floating, so go under them. Oh yeah, I remember that jump to hit this platform. Did that one. Yeah, I nailed it right from the beginning.
Yep.
And then that very last time where it's like up, down, like real fast. And I couldn't get through and I crashed. And then at that point, I never got back to that point. I noped out. Then I came back the next day. And I never got that far again.
Yeah.
I didn't use any cheats. You're the guy who's like, I'm going to do whatever I can to see all the way to the end of it. And I'm the guy I'm just doing the raw experience. Never could quite get past that point. And that's super frustrating. Now, I know as a kid that I did get past that point, but I never beat it. So this game, I'm like, for I don't know, however many times now in my life that I've tried to play through this game. But it's just, those are major limiting factors. The other piece of why it's too hard is that the damage is inconsistent. And this is something I realized the more I played it. An example of this would be the first level, I guess is the second level where you're going down the tube.
Yep.
And you have to fight the birds, and it's laid out pretty smart. You hit them on one side, you hit another on another side. You dodge some little zappy things as they expand out. That's pretty easy. You get the sword from the bird, who I guess it's
the
part
bird's
of his
beak
comes off or something, right? And then that makes other stuff easier. But those little box guys that shoot those electric shots at you, those things take off like half your health on a hit. 2 of those, and you're dead.
Yep.
There's no reason those should be doing more than like 1 square of damage. And you can see that the developers tried to balance this out because they'd have like flies show up that give you a box of your health back every time you eat them. But if you are killed on 2 hits of the thing you just fought, then you never need to eat the flies because you have no ability to get your health back.
I also struggle to even eat the flies.
Right. And even just getting them is difficult. Like, I think that really, if they had dialed back the damage that certain types of enemies do to you and allowed you to crash without it killing you, like maybe you could crash and bounce off, but keep going like once or twice on a level, this game would be so much better because it would give you just a little bit of that leeway to like, okay, I made a mistake, but at least I can keep moving. And that's the problem. And then pretty quickly you go through all your lives and then you got to start back over and you got to go through everything to get back up to that point again. And I mean, that's a typical issue with a lot of old NES games, is that part of it. Like I said earlier, I really liked the brawler side of it. I really liked the animations, your big fist, the way enemies get beat up, the stilt guys getting knocked backwards on their legs. All of that stuff was great, but so much of the game becomes platforming as opposed to brawler stuff. And then they kind of just save it for the bosses at some point. And it's just put more fighting in the game. This might be why it made more sense when Battletoads Double Dragon came out, the game where they combined the two, and it was more of a brawler. That's why that game's better, is because you do more fighting in it.
Yeah, you actually do fighting. Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah. The bad is awkward here because a lot of my bad I just all said was good. So we're just going to have to deal with it. Because again, right? I found this stuff hilarious. But as I said before, I was able to put on infinite lives, infinite health, invincibility. So I have nothing but continues, and I still couldn't beat some of the levels. And that's because the jump timing, for example, I can be invincible, but when I'm on a jet ski that crashed into a wall, you still die. So then you start over. Right. And you go, and that part does start to make it tough. And I did. One of my favorite stories is the game was not quite released yet, and the lead engineer people could hear him screaming, like cursing, and they went in there. People were checking on the room. He was playing one of the levels he made and could not beat it. He knew where every single jump point was. I mean, I went and took this game. The cool thing about Nintendo games, you can pull maps of them. So I went and I pulled the map. And one of my rage quits was I'm playing the tower. The tower is the second to last level. It's level 12.
Yeah. You jump on all the platforms and go around.
And so the way the tower works is the tower is spinning. So you have to jump on things. And when you're on it, it's static. The thing above you jumps. But the second you jump, the thing you were on moves, and the thing above you comes in. You have to get that. If you miss that jump, you fall and you die. You start over again. Mm-hmm. So I am just grinding my way through this. I have probably put a half hour into this level. And I get further than I've ever been. And I go for that moment of like, all right, you know what? Pause. I'm going to go look at a map. And I want to see how much further do I have to go. I got to be near the end. I wasn't even halfway and went, no, level skip. That's it. Nope. And I saw what was coming and actually was just like, oh my God, this is, whoa. I have to admit, like that level of difficulty, it kills it. Now, what was interesting is, and there's nothing proving this, but the rumor about Battletoads, and there was a lot of games in the 90s that hit this level of difficulty. Its difficulty comes from the rental game industry. One of the challenges video game companies were having is if they made the game easy and enjoyable, they didn't sell a lot of copies because people were renting games. And when you rented a game, as Tom and I both did, you got it for 5 days a week. It was somewhere in that realm. And if you could beat the game that time, cool. You played it once, you returned to the game store, the game never got played again. And a lot of these games had lower sales. The rumor is that games like Battletoads leaned into the difficulty because they wanted you to go buy it. They wanted you to say, I can't beat this game in 5 days. And next week, I'm going to have a scratch that itch to try and get after it. And so that was the theory behind it. I don't know if that would actually work because what was the Netflix for video game rental? Do you remember what that was called? I remember it was Orange.
Oh.
I remember it was Orange.
Oh, I don't remember.
But I mean, I used that back when we had discs. Now we don't. That world is over.
Right.
But that was the rumor, was it was designed to combat that. So just a fun little piece.
That makes sense. I mean, I think about it. Like, I think I probably rented this game once, and after about a week, I was done. And even if I didn't beat it, I was still done. I was just frustrated. But I get why they would think, okay, if you beat it, you're not going to come back.
Yeah.
But that was true for playing Final Fantasy 1. I spent an entire summer renting that game week after week because I didn't want to lose my save because I couldn't beat it in a week.
Yeah.
So I think I rented it like 4 consecutive weeks in a row in order to get through the whole game.
And that's kind of the irony of Battletoads, is that Battletoads was more than long enough to not be a rental game at 13 levels. They didn't have to make the levels. Yeah, they didn't have to make levels that hard. They could have made, to your point, some of like your leeway on button pressing a little bit more loose. But they did not.
Just allow you to crash into something. Or some games, if you crash into a barrier that would kill you in this game, you just take some health damage. Blink,
and you go back moving a little bit and you get going.
Or it rewinds you back.
Yeah, this one
you fall off something. The level keeps moving and you pop back up and you took damage. For it,
unfortunately, in this one you go through gates, and the gates are your saves, just like a normal thing. And I remember in Tube Challenge, it was a certain point where I got to like my third gate maybe, and I was just like, wait, there shouldn't be this many. Oh God, I'm never going to get through this. Yeah,
it's a ton. Okay,
all right, but let's get into the verdict.
All right,
2 questions, Tom. Now, first one, we know the game is hard, so we're not going to bother on that. But was it fun? Did you find joy in the game that a lot of people claim to have? And secondly, did it feel 90s? Did it bring you back to, was there a recall from the retro?
From the retro, yeah. You seem to really enjoy the pain and suffering of this.
Yeah.
I did not. And I'm sure people watching this episode on YouTube or just listening to my clips as they pop up, I started out similar to some of these other games we've played, having a great time, playing through that first level, beating stuff up, being like, oh, this is great. Oh, that guy comes out here. Oh, this is great, clever. This thing's happening. And then that soured, and then I got stuck. And by the end of it, I was just defeated. And then I went back off camera, not recording, to just play it again, see if I can get any further. And I finished the game. Like, I didn't finish the game, but I finished playing, and I put my controller down, and I was like, I am an adult with too many actual real stresses in my life. I do not need this. I was done.
That's fair. But as far as the 90s, though, this was 90s.
Oh, yeah. It was very 90s. It was very nostalgic. And like so many of these games, I forgot a lot of what was in here because I didn't play it a ton as a kid. I think it was a rental. But when I got to those moments, I was like, oh, yeah. In fact, the tube stage, some of those patterns I still remembered when I got to them, even though I haven't seen them in 34 years.
Good for you.
Like once it got to like the floating barriers, I remember jumping and going, oh, those ones are floating. Don't jump. It's a different color. Like that stuff stuck in my mind. So I must have given it a hard enough try back then for it to still be something I recall. But even just the attitude of it, like the animations, the characters, all of that stuff. Yeah, totally. That part, great. That part was wonderful. If somebody was to do a like hacked version of this with like way easier difficulty, I would 100% play through the whole thing. Yeah. I'm just, even with, like you were saying, even with the cheats, you still can't get through certain parts. You can't
get through it. So even with cheats, it's impossible. Yeah, I went the opposite. I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it partly because I told a bunch of my friends, hey, I'm playing Battletoads. And the amount of response, like, oh, man, really? Like, oof, you're going for it? And it was. I got in there. I was like, man, this really is. It was more, I think my enjoyment was, if I'm being honest now, it's less I think the game was good as much as I was enjoying the experience of playing something this infamous and it holding up. Like going back and someone says to you, I don't like scary movies, but some people do. And they say, hey, this is the scariest movie ever made. And you go see it. Wow, that is terrifying. Or I also, I am a lame person. I also can't do roller coasters. It's just, I'm afraid of heights and my inner ear does not like them. But if you do, and you go to this really terrifying super roller coaster, does it live up to the hype? And I think that's where my joy came, is this game lived up to every millimeter of hype that was put upon it. Oh, yeah. And I was like, it just, whoa. So I enjoyed it in that sense. Do I want to play this again? No, I don't. Absolutely not. No. Right. I mean, that was hard. And as far as, but I will say I did love the 90s thing now. It was fun seeing, like the fact it's Rash, Pimple, and the other, Zit. Yeah.
Zits, I think.
Yeah,
Z.
Yeah. I mean, it's got these funny names, the way the vulture guy talks to you. It's just, the game was funny. It reminded me a little bit of the 90s professional wrestling attitude era, where it was this this is how we talk to each other. This is what we're going to do. Boom, boom, boom. The top. Exactly. It was cool. But yeah, that game is light years challenging. There we go.
There you go. Well, I guess we've confirmed something. The game is as hard as everyone remembers it. In fact, it was harder than I remember it. Yeah. So if anything, we are underselling the difficulty of the game. Oh, yeah. I would say we've talked in the past. One thing we should actually add an extra question. Now it says, would we recommend it to our listeners? And personally, I will. Good question. I will happily say, you as a listener, if you want to experience it, you should experience this level of challenge. The good news is, by the third level, you are getting the full experience of the challenge. So you don't have to put that much time in to go, oh, wow. So I would recommend it, but only to experience that, not because it's actually a fun, enjoyable game. Right. Know what you're getting into and then expect that, and then you'll be fine. Because you know what you're getting. And people might be wondering, we didn't do a challenge this week. This game was punishment enough for both of us.
I'm good.
So no challenge this week. But now that we've settled Battletoads, it is as hard or harder than you remember. What are we talking about next week?
Next week, we're taking a massive left turn from Battletoads, and we're going to go to the game. I actually don't know which this or a different one got me fully into the RTS world, but I know this one did a lot. Warcraft. The very first Warcraft.
Warcraft 1.
Warcraft 1.
World.
Yep.
Just Warcraft.
Warcraft, the game that kind of launched Blizzard. They've had some hits. I don't know if it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was this or Command and Conquer I played first. I believe Command and Conquer came out first. I just don't know which one I actually played first. But
I played Warcraft first.
Yeah, Warcraft is an epic game that I think is going to be super fun to go back into. There are Zug. Please stop touching me. Like, it is such.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. What you want? God, this game.
What you want? Yeah,
this game sticks. That's funny. How long has it been? It's been 30 years since we played that, and that comes
about 30 years.
Yeah, and that comes right back. What you want comes back instantly. Yep. We're going, whereas Battletoads was that's a game you talk about. Warcraft is the game you're like, hey, I really played a ton of this game. So I am super excited to go play this. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm on board on this one. I'm on board on this one.
This is going to be great.
I'm going to have a great time on this one. It'll be fun and nostalgic and all of that. So, yes, thank you everybody for tuning in. And please take a minute, check out our other stuff. If you like our stuff here, you'll like the 40K Lorecast and the history of 40K with John.
Hi.
You might enjoy the Fallout Lorecast. We're going through season 1. John actually joined me to talk about season 1. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to be talking about all the season 2 stuff. By the time this episode comes out, that'll have been out. So you can hear our reactions to season 1, my reactions to season 2. So the Fallout Lorecast, the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, and the Lord of the Rings Lorecast. We've got lots of other content on podcast platforms and on YouTube and other places. So go check that out and take a minute if you like the episode. This is a new show. It's a new channel. Help us get this out there. Clicking the like button doesn't take anything. Leave a comment about your experience with Battletoads. We'd love to read it, but it also helps the algorithm. And come back and check out future episodes and recommend things in the comments. Let us know what you want us to try in the future so that we can have either a wonderful or terrible experience.
Sometimes both.
And so on that note, John, what did we learn this week from Battletoads?
That yelling Serenity now doesn't work.
There you go.
Recall.
Robots Radio. Games. Lore. Stories. Community. Just press play.